Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this tutorial we'll write a Python program to print a number pattern. This is our today's number pattern. So the shape of this pattern is square and number we want to print is 25, 24, 23, 22, 21. Here 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. In the next row 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. And in the next row 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And in the last row 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the first number we want to print is 25. So what is 25? Here in this pattern number of row is equal to 5. Here you can see. Because it is a square shape, number of row is equal to number of column. So number of column is also 5. So when I multiply number of row with number of column, we'll get 25 here. So this number is nothing but the product of number of row and number of column. And next number is you need to minus 1 from this number 24. You need to minus 1 from this number, we'll get 23. 23 minus 1, 22. 22 minus 1, 21. 21 minus 1, 20. Like this. Okay, so this is about our pattern. So next let's write the program. So in the Python file, the first step in the number pattern program is we need to take the input from the user, and I'll take a variable called num and I'll use input function. You can ask the user to mention number of row or number of column, because here the shape is square shape, number of row is equal to number of column. Here I'm using Python 3, that's why to take integer input I need to convert my input to integer. Done with the first step. Next step is we need to use nested for loop. First for loop is for row. So here row is the variable, and in the range function I need to mention how many row we want in our output. We want num rows. Then for loop is for column, and here also you need to mention how many columns you want in our output. Num columns, right? Done with the nested for loop. Next here we need to use print function to print the number. The first number in our output is 25 when number of row is 5. So that is actually, so here I need to multiply num with num, because it is a square shape, number of row is equal to number of column. So you need to multiply num with num, we'll get value, and you need to print that here. And end is equal to space to print space between the values. And here in the first for loop, outside the second for loop, we need to use the print function. That is, after printing a row we need to go to the next line to print next numbers. That's why we are using this print function. I already explained you about this in the previous few tutorials, how we can print numbers in the square shape, why we need to take nested for loop, why we need to take this end parameter, why we need to use this print function here. So I'll give you the link of that video in the description box. If you haven't watched that, you can go and watch that. Alright, if you have any doubt, you can watch those tutorials. Okay, so now we are done with our program. Let's save this file and execute this file. So here we can see number of row, just mention number of row. Here we can see we are getting the value as 25, all value as 25. That is because here to print next value we need to decrement the value by 1. So after 25 I need to get 24. To get 24 I need to minus 1 from that, minus 1 from the previous value, right? That's why we need to include this statement. Now save this file and let's execute this. And here we can see our output 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, like this. The last number is 1. But the problem is we can't see square shape here, because here few numbers are 2-digit numbers and few numbers are 1-digit number. That's why we can't see the shape clearly here. For that you can use format function here. Just use format and value. Here you need to mention how many space you want to include for that value. Okay, so now we are done. Let's save and execute this. Number of row is 5 and here you can see the output in the square shape. Next, let's use another value. Okay, 16 is the last number, that is equal to number of row multiply number of column. 4 multiply 4, 16. That's why we took here this statement num multiply num. So we'll get the first value of our pattern. So we'll print that first. Later, to get the next value, we need to minus 1 from the previous value. So we are using this statement. Okay, we are using format function to format the output. Alright, so this is about this pattern. First, take the input from the user. Usually in patterns, we'll ask the user to mention number of row. Because here we are printing square shape pattern, number of row is equal to number of column. You can ask the user to mention number of row or number of column. Next, here we took this statement value equal to num multiply num. That is to print the first number of the pattern. To get that, we are multiplying the number of row with number of column. And next, we are using nested for loops. Because we want to print numbers in different row and columns, that's why we need these two for loops. And here we are using print function to print value, and to get the next value or remaining values we are using this statement, and here we are using this print function to print the numbers in different rows. Okay, so that's it for now guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will meet you in next class. Till then, take care.